What up, guys? Back at it again. Anime and Beer, where we talk about the latest manga,
Comics.
anime, you name it. So crack open a cold one. Let's dive in.
Not gonna lie, you threw me off. I want to expect you to point.
I know I did. I had to. All right, guys. If you're tuning in right now, spoilers are ahead. Sorry, I'm scratching my leg. My Hero Academia, Chapter 335. Did I get that right? I got blind eyes. Yeah, I got it right. Cool. I got astigmatism. So, spoilers are ahead. The traitor of UA is revealed. So, I mean, kind of backtracking a little bit. So, definitely Star and Stripes. We saw kind of the conclusion of that battle. Very, kind of not very much like super impeded Shigaraki and All For One, but definitely kind of made them realize, like the heroes are still here. They're still putting in the force. They still want to protect, mankind and everything.
Although there's only like 25 of them.
Yeah. That was that, and I love how they're kind of referencing the rest of the world too, and also too like all the other countries. Like, well, do we leave and go help Japan? It's like, well, how are we supposed to help Japan if if All For One? Exactly. And we see All Might explaining to Deku and the rest of Class 1A and going on about like everything going on in this chapter and what's the next move. And everybody's kind of coming together and we're talking about like, okay, and All Might's kind of reminiscing with the students. And so when all that happens with the show, or not with the show, the manga chapter, we see that, he's explaining that a lot of things are going to happen. And also, too, we're cutting back and forth between, obviously, the good guys and the bad guys. And what is everyone doing? And we're kind of seeing like a monologue from All For One. We're seeing a monologue from All Might. And we're seeing, like, the heroes are clearly worried about Shigaraki and All For One. That's the main goal here. And they're explaining, we got Shigaraki, of course, All For One, Dabi, Toga, which are like major key characters, and the rest of like the the Rebellion?
Yeah, the Rebellion.
The Rebellion, and everything going on with them, and everything that like we're trying to see and defend, and everything that we have like seen from the My Hero series so far with the movie, the anime, and now the manga chapters coming out. I'm still saying it. I'm holding on to my prediction because, the first user's quirk is still not revealed for, Deku, just a side tangent. And everybody kind of getting together and coming up with a plan. And of course, the villains are working on their game plan. So what is Class 1A doing? Hey, we're training. We're working too. We're getting everything on our part done. Mm-hmm. And we see also, the students kind of like talking about what they're going to do, and Deku saying, well, of course they're going to help me with my quirk, and, Bakugo being Bakugo, like, let's go. I'm already ahead of you idiots. I'm ready to tear something up. And, like, everything coming together full. The main characters are back together. We see them coming up with a game plan on their end because, like the war arc with the heroes and the villains before, where we saw, before Deku ran off and went vigilante for a little bit, we see these guys all coming together once again. And what's the next move?
What is the next move?
What is the next move? That's what I'm wondering. Well, we got to take down the bad guys, of course.
Alright, that's true. But how are we going to take down the bad guys?
I mean, that's the next interesting thing to see. And I am excited to see everybody's, very limited time. Some new abilities, some new power-ups. I would like to see, besides Deku, I would like to see someone in Class 1A have an awakening moment. Like, I think Class 1A is definitely, it's about time. All the amount of stress, besides Deku, who else has, like, awakened new abilities and has, like, really pushed their limits? That can kind of go with everybody, but I would like to see something not yet from Class 1A. Like, I mean, if they say they've been training this whole time and that's, how they got Deku back, what have they been working on? And what are we going to see next? Who's got the who's all, end all, be all? I like to see Tokoyami get a little glow up a little bit more. You know, he's been working with Hawks and training Dark Shadow. I'd like to see, you know, I would like to see a lot more from Ida. I mean, of course, he's a speedster, but I'm interested to see what he's going to be capable of doing. Uraraka, I mean, she's kind of been the glue right now, as far as like keeping Deku there. And you know, my whole thing is with that is these guys and girls got to have power ups, and I'm interested to see even Todoroki. You know, he's got to prepare for his brother. So like, what are they gonna like? What like? I mean, I don't know. What would you kind of see from Class 1A right now? I mean, besides, you know, like any power ups, any predictions in your mind, like anything you would think kind of happen? Like something like a good fight. Like, what would you want to see? Say someone versus someone, and like, what would you say like you would like to see with the abilities we've seen so far?
I mean,
you can just pick one. I mean, it doesn't have to be crazy. Just like not like a crazy prediction, but like, what would you think like as far as, you know, something going along with that?
It's hard for me to say. I mean, there's not really much I can say that I haven't seen. Yeah, I want to see more power-ups, but I mean, okay, I'm just gonna be completely honest.
This is just a random tangent. Yeah.
For me, it's too many students, not enough villains, or not enough heavy hitter villains. Yes, Deku has to fight Shigaraki. Yes, Todoroki has to fight Dabi. I think Uraraka and Toga are going to have a standoff. I mean, but other than that, I mean,
I did see some news through the grapevine that My Hero is the manga is coming to an end, and the next chapter of the series is them actually being professional heroes. So I mean,
that's really all we're waiting on. Really,
that's all we're waiting on.
I'm excited for the show. Don't get me wrong and everything. I'm excited for everything that's about to transpire. But I mean, it's really, as far I would love to see, you know, Red Riot go off, but against who?
He did say, I mean, he said, you know, he's got to take a pounding here in the manga. He talks about when it cuts over. If you look at the screen here, he cuts over. You know, he's happy to see, you know, Class 1A coming together and everything like that, and they're doing a great job as teams, and you know, and everything like that. And it's funny because the wordplay though, but like Kirishima's like, I gotta take a pounding. I'm like, what did he say?
If I want to get harder.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, what? God. What's wait a sir. And you know, they're all kind of reminiscing and talking in the next snippet here. When you know, they're talking or whatever, and of course All Might's kind of like, all right, like these guys and girls are, I'm worried about them, but I'm ready to see what they can do also too. He's like concerned, you know, you can see it in his face, and yeah, everybody talking about it, and this is kind of like the monologue for the hero half. And as we continue on with the chapter though, which was really interesting, is like the cuts over as we go over to the next part here, and they're still talking, you know, meanwhile, and we're going and we're going into the chapter some more. Is like, now we're back at the you know, the League of Villains lair, and you know, Shigaraki's still in pain from that fight with Star, which I still say Star. I mean, we kind of called it. It kind of needed to be done for plot armor, but like the whole thing.
I didn't think she was going to die.
I didn't either. I don't think anybody expected her to die. Fatally wounded, sure, but die. But honestly, like you said in the previous video, that's an OP Korg. Like that's an OP. Like you
even when it's limitations, it's still OP. And I feel like when they were writing her up, there was no way they were getting around how OP her Korg. Like okay, I understand it's OP. You're going to give her limitations to only change 2 rules. And that's still broken.
That's still broken. That's still broken. I mean, she basically, like you said, is a death note.
She is. She's a walking death note.
She's a death note, and that would play a big. That would be definitely what, a catalyst? What's the term? You know, like in a story, like a like not a plot twist, but something along the lines of with the story, it would just be too sweet of a moment if she were to come in later and not now.
What is it? Dex's Ex Machina, whatever that word is.
Yeah, something. But like, you know, and here we go. We have, you know, All for One talking to the League of Villains and everything going on, and Shigaraki is damn near complete with this transfiguration with All for One, which, you know, he had another awakening within the fight with Star, which kind of, you know, needs to be done. So they're definitely speeding up like this cocoon process with him.
Well, the best way to explain it is he's at 96%.
I thought it was 97 with the fight with Star. It's like 97, 98. We said it in our last. Yeah.
Imagine that, but then you're downloading something on a computer and then the internet gets unplugged. That's pretty much what's going on here right now.
Well, yeah, he was
near perfection.
He's still holding on.
Star put a big damper on what he was doing, so he literally has to like restart and hopefully come back to where he finished.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so like my whole thing too is like I'm wondering, because you pointed it out and I pointed it out too, was when she said, you know, if you say or do anything, Tomura Shigaraki's heart will stop. You will die. And so I'm wondering now with this whole thing, is Shigaraki like actually dead? Is he just kind of like an empty soul right now? What's going on with that? Because I guess now Shigaraki himself is kind of out of the way for the time being. And it was really cool to see that in the manga before, like where everything going on and he's just wanting to like kill and like get it all done and over with. He's like becoming an empty vessel. And even all the way back to the war arc where Deku was like, almost for a moment there, I thought Shigaraki himself needed to be saved when the final part of the fight happened. And you know, of course, All for One's going into his monologue now and explaining, you know, this is just a minor setback. We'll get through with this. We're going to go ahead and go into our Phase 4 plan, but I need all of you to cooperate and work with me because all good plans have to be executed properly. Mm-hmm. And like an evil genius, and I like All for One. I'm getting, you know, I'm getting like some Lex Luthor. I'm getting, you know, even some Joker vibes. I'm getting, you know, everything like you've seen in other hero concepts and worlds. Like putting a whole plan together as an evil genius it's satisfying. It's like, okay, this is just gonna make more stress and complexity on the heroes, which is super cool. And like you see here on the chapter, he talks about it. He's explaining the plans, and like you see like this tree chart. And everything transfigures and goes around, twists and turns, lefts and rights. It's still the goal at the end of the day. And we see these other plans that didn't work, you know, kind of like the stemming of the original plan. That's really cool. I like how they did that. And, you know, it cuts over to the next part and he's still talking about it. And he's like, look, everything's going according to plan. You gotta work with me. Basically is what's going on here in this chapter. And so we go over one more to the next slide and boom, the traitor is revealed, Invisible Girl, and he talks about it. This is one of his key pawns in the entire franchise. We're going into season 6 in the anime. And, you know, like I said, spoilers are ahead. And, you know, Invisible Girl...
Spoilers are ahead.
Spoilers are ahead. Spoilers are ahead. Spoilers. But, like, my whole thing is, like, here we are. We're at the meat of the sandwich here. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, the meat and potatoes. Oh, God, that sounds so good right now. What are we eating after this?
I mean, there's some rice and...
I'm on it. Anyway, so... But, I mean, you know, closing out of the chapter, you know... It was funny how the internet kind of was like really on top of their investigations of My Hero. Because if you follow comic books, you know, like a trader, I still say other people are involved. Everybody, of course, predicted Invisible Girl from the beginning. And I actually pointed out here to Mr. Maple before the show even started, like some key points. A big one was when they all went to the mall at the end of season 2, I believe, for my anime watchers. It was her that suggested they all go to the mall and run into Shigaraki. Also, back in season 1, where the end of season 1, All Might fought the Namu. You know, she was the only student not there during the whole thing, and also letting them in. And then cutting fast forward a little bit later, and you know, we're gonna get the war arc next in the anime. She was the only one not fighting, really. There's multiple clues that leads it to her. And for everybody, you know, that thought it was just like kind of one of those anime things that got written off, or like one of those things that like, hey, I got debunked. You know, so I was just kind of like, all right, you know, like my predictions, don't listen to me, listen to this guy, because, you know, sorry, this guy, the way the camera is, because, you know, your predictions have been right so far. And so my whole thing is, how are they going to expose her? Like, so, mic drop, she walks up, or then they find out about it, or like what? Okay, go ahead. Master of predictions over here.
I just been.
You've been on a roll, dude. I'm listening. I'm listening.
So they already know.
You think she's like a double agent, like Hawks?
Oh no. She's with All For One, but the heroes already know. Capturing her now won't do any good.
So they got to see where she... That's why Hawks came into play with the story.
I think Hawks know. With Hawks knowing, and they know. My again, this is just my opinion. This is my theory. They know. This is classic. This is textbook double spy 101.
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me. This is where we're at. We're in the prime of the show, baby.
You've ever seen? They already know who the bad guy is. But it makes no sense capturing them right now. What's the point of capturing her right now? They're not going to get any information.
She's gonna lead them. Yeah, for sure.
She has to lead them.
Damn.
But of course, in waiting and letting her lead them, there's going to be casualties. Unfortunate casualties.
Absolutely.
They know who she is. Come on now, you're going to tell me people were sneaking into the school. The villains were one-upping the heroes at some point. And they not know, and you think they don't know there's a traitor?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
The first person I would look at is the invisible person.
Can we insert that? Can we insert that clip from Men in Black 1 where he shoots the girl?
Edwards, what the hell happened?
Hesitated.
May I ask why you felt little Tiffany deserved to die?
Well, she was the only one that actually seemed dangerous at the time, sir.
How'd you come to that conclusion?
Well, first I was going to pop this guy hanging from the street light, and then I realized, he's just working out. And how would I feel if somebody come running in the gym, bust me in my ass while I'm on the treadmill? Then I saw this snarling beast guy, and I noticed he had a tissue in his hand. I realized, he's not snarling. He's sneezing. Ain't no real threat there. And I saw little Tiffany. I'm thinking, 8-year-old white girl, middle of the ghetto, bunch of monsters, this time of night with quantum physics books. She about to start some shit, Zed. She's about 8 years old. Those books are way too advanced for her. If you ask me, I say she's up to something. And to be honest, I'd appreciate it if you eased up off my back about it. Or do I owe her an apology?
This is Yuga. It's a pretty boy. I mean, it's a 15-year-old pretty boy. Mineta, the boy just wants some.
The boy just wants some.
I see little invisible girl.
I did see very briefly somebody said Mineta's a spy. I was like, no, he's a typical 14-year-old boy. That's it. The
first person I would look at is the invisible girl.
Makes a lot of sense.
There's another
makes a lot of sense.
Reason.
She's invisible.
Eraserhead always used his quirk
on the class.
Never did we see her invisibility go away.
But they explained that though too with mutation quirks, kind of like with somebody was had Orca, like you're gonna turn him back into a human. There's mutation quirks. They explained it. But my thing is she one of the first Namus that actually worked? And with the with the drugs going around, they've explained too how they can put quirks into other human beings as well. Is there a way that they found a drug to disguise you? Kind of like invisibility cloak with Harry Potter. Like, is there a way they had like, hey, this is like a monetary time. You have like okay, how long is school in session? Like what, 8 hours out of the day? We'll say 8 hours out of the day. She might have like I'm just kind of, I'm reaching with the science, so bear with me. But let's say, you know, she has a whole nother quirk. The invisibility thing doesn't affect her actual quirk. This is just to make sure nobody sees her face. Nobody sees her actual identity. Nobody knows exactly where she lives and everything like that. Because also too, in the filler part, remember when they were doing the dorm rooms?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they showed her room.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
I'm not gonna speak on
that. I'm not going to speak on that. But like, there's like a lot of things. Like nobody knew anything about her. And
I had a hero analysis book. I don't remember where it is. I'm going to look at it to see if there's any information of her in it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like the clues have been laid out. But here's what I want to add on too to what you were talking about.
I know she has a name, but I don't even remember the damn name.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. So like to add on to what you were saying before is, you know, the heroes know. The heroes know. The heroes know. What I love too with My Hero is they did it in the movie with Bakugo, Endeavor, and Hawks. They are training these young heroes in detective skills as well. Somebody knows that she's the traitor, but they're waiting to expose her. I think Hawks definitely has something to do with it, or Genus. The reason why I say that, and those two particularly coming back into play, are their quirks. Think about it. What do Genus and Hawks have in common?
What their quirks can do. Their quirk can pretty much be used to either tell people, trace people.
Thank you. Good. All right. You're smarter than you look. Awesome. So, but no, that's a solid point. So going into this, think about it. You know, who's to say Hawks didn't have a feather on her the whole time? She didn't notice. Or we see she has gloves. So she does wear clothes. The laces in the clothes that Genus can do. He did it against All For One. Fibering all the clothes together with all the heroes and making a shield so they don't like disintegrate away. Who's to say he's not keeping a track on her with a light string, like kind of like...
Not even just her, just the whole class.
The whole class.
But that's probably how everything went down. He's creating...
a web. He created a web.
He might have created those cheer uniforms. Actual school uniforms. Their nightgowns. He might have created all that, and what happened was, nobody gave it first thought, but when the traitor first started coming into play... Genus is looking at everybody,
But in speculation,
like, what is she doing?
Exactly. But in speculation too, is the theories before that I was saying with her. When she wants to go missing, she abandons the clothes. So my thing is they're gonna tie in to where she abandons her clothes to go invisible,
which is very, very important, people, because she's not Sue Storm or anything. Her clothes don't go invisible when she goes.
She doesn't have the She doesn't
have. Her Fast Act, it's not like her Fast Act uniform and her clothes thereafter. Her regular civilian clothes she does have to ditch in order to truly be invisible.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm wondering too, is they're gonna see where her clothes are abandoned at, and like you said, the heroes are not dumb. The heroes are not dumb at all. So my whole thing is with that is you know who I'm also going to tie into this? The principal. Not as a traitor, but since that incident in the first season and in the first part of My Hero, where, you know, somebody let them in. That was the first wave. And now you have two of the best tracker heroes back in the mix, who are probably studying the students, following the students, making sure everybody's good. You know, it would make sense. And who's to say the principal's like, make sure you have a piece of your fiber on all the students' clothes and where they go. She could still be wearing casual clothes. Like, who's to say Genus wasn't at the mall with Shigaraki when all that went down? Who's to say Genis was there when Shigaraki in the mall? Who's to say Genis wasn't there when, you know, the whole war broke out and everything like that? He was seeing where these kids are returning from. She can ditch her clothes and run wherever she wants, but she has to come back. And with the radius and time and things like that, you've always been the last one to show up. Why? And I think her true person is going to be revealed. Because they've already shown Toga's ability to cloak herself with somebody else's quirk. So that's possible. So having multiple quirks and not being one for all is possible. And they've used drugs to do it. The other quirk abilities have done it. So my whole thing is like, if we're going to go into this detail here, let's dive into our DC and Marvel brains here. This is textbook comic books. Okay? So if we're going to do this, how are we doing it and why? You know, we want to trump the heroes, so we already know why. How are we doing it? We need a person with perfect stealth, invisibility.
It's textbook.
It's textbook, man. I think you're definitely on to something for sure, because I definitely believe that these heroes already know. I'm totally already there with
Like I
that.
said, man, when they started this whole traitor thing, and everybody said Invisible Girl, but everybody was like, no, that's too easy.
Even me.
The second person they said was Yuga.
And another person, Kirishima.
Because they were like, he's too stupid. And no.
Kiminari's too stupid. Kirishima's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, Kaminari. Yeah,
Kaminari, sorry. Kaminari's
people thought it was Kaminari.
Yeah,
And they're
Kaminari's
like,
stupid.
He's playing stupid, like, you know, he's only stupid when he uses his quirk to its fullest extent.
He's electrocuting his brain.
Yeah, he was never, like, stupid.
And I love how, you know, going back, it was, you know, United States of Smash. That was great. But also, too, was just kind of like typical shonen characters betraying, you know, the protagonist to go get stronger. And, you know, Bakugo being like, screw you, dude. I want to bash you guys' face in. I'm not going to be a traitor. I don't care about any of you. Like, and I love that, man. And I love how Bakugo's getting a lot of love right now. He's especially about to get love in this next arc for the anime, for sure. So if you're not a Bakugo fan yet, you've seen the movies, cool. But this next arc, you're definitely really going to become a Bakugo fan. But my whole thing is, though, is like, what? Okay, so All For One needs to keep tabs on Deku. This is it. But who is she? Or it? Or what? What is they getting out of it?
Especially the fact that, they're 15?
That's what I'm saying. Or if she even is 15.
That's what I was going to get at.
Talk to me. Come on.
There's no way you walked up to a 10-year-old. We're going to say 5 years. We're just going to throw a number out there. Just throwing a random number. Hey, kid. You want to espionage for some villains?
And her quirk, like I said, her quirk, I think, is artificial. I think there's a time limit on it, and that's why she's always missing. The drug could possibly run out, and she has to go, you know, and that's another reason why I think Genis and Hawks keeps tabs on everybody.
Now, some people may say, oh, it's somebody we know, that's why she's invisible. No, I don't think that. Could it be somebody we know? Yes, but I don't think the invisibility is coming from, it may be someone we know. I think the invisibility is just espionage.
But also too,
I just think this is a whole different person we've never seen before, and
I also have to
hell
add
of a
on.
good job.
I totally spaced on this. We said it in the beginning of the video. Oh my god, I totally said this already. All For One can transfer quirks. Who's to say he didn't pick up invisibility and just gave it to her? That's your niche. That's your in.
She was always invisible, even from the beginning.
That's what I'm saying. So somebody, you know, like All For One was probably going to be like, to keep it simpler.
Well, see, but it goes back to what I was saying before about Eraserhead. We still never seen her go.
But mutation quirks are different. It was a mutation quirk. Kind of like if I had spikes growing out of my head. Eraserhead can't
But
get rid of that.
You're kind of contradicting yourself because you're saying it was given to her, but when I mentioned that point, you're saying now it's a mutation.
Well, then I guess so to I guess add on to what you're saying is think about it real quick. So if it's a mutation quirk, regardless, All For One can still take it and give it to somebody else, regardless. But what I'm saying though is because you're right, okay. Well, if it was a drug,
but see, the difference is with what you're saying.
Okay.
Then that means Nina Shido, I think appearance is different from a quirk.
Okay.
Now,
okay.
Now, and what I'm trying to say is, we're going to take Nina Shido, and we're going to take Hawks.
Okay.
Now, if Razorhead gazes at Nina Shido, does she loses her appearance and acid, or does she just loses acid and she just walks around looking like a pink demon? If he uses it on Hawks, does Hawks lose his wings, or does he just loses the ability to do what his wings were made to do?
Okay, so to add on, I guess to answer you is, I guess we haven't seen the full extent of Eraserhead's quirk, because that's like the X factor. Because I remember us talking back videos back. We've never seen Eraserhead like in a mirror room. Like, can he project it off of a mirror? You know what I'm saying? Like, can he like look at you from across the room, and like if there's like 27 different mirrors around, can he hit multiple people and even more people? You know, we've talked about that forever ago. What I'm saying though is, with that being said, because I'm giving Eraserhead that benefit of the doubt, I feel like if it was, you know, I guess contradicting myself before, what my comments were before, excuse me, if it were a drug, if it were an injected drug, Eraserhead would probably be able to debunk that. But giving that actual individual that quirk, and they have access to it, and it is a mutation quirk, you know, I guess we got to see how that plays out, because that's gonna help.
He stopped Shigaraki.
He did stop Shigaraki, but Shigaraki's ability is decay. He has to touch you. He can stop you, but that's a projected quirk. It's like Hunter x Hunter, enhancers, conjurers, manipulators, things like that. And in the My Hero world, though, if you're walking around as like a 10-foot Godzilla lizard, I mean, how's Eraserhead supposed to stop that? You're still a 10-foot Godzilla lizard. You just might not be able to breathe fire. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is, I'm like, how do you go about that? And I guess that's how you have to understand like the power limiters and the power scale in the My Hero verse. Because if that's the case, you know, can he look at Superman and stop Superman? I mean, his quirk or ability? No, because he's an alien. It's a mutation. It's how they were brought up. It's how they grew. Versus someone like, he could probably stop the Flash's speed if he saw him one time. Because
I don't know. It's.
I would have to. There's too many factors.
Because even in X-Men actually debunked one of the things you said.
Mm-hmm.
The mutation gene, whether it be just a power or a physical look, it can be reverted. I.e., in X2, The Last Stand, when Beast went to go shake the kid's hand, all his blue hair went away, and it was just a regular human.
Which
hand.
I think they did that. I think they got that reference for Eerie, which I do like. I think that's where Eerie came from, was that kid.
Probably.
But I guess we don't really know though.
What? I mean, it's just simply said.
So many more questions.
Eraserhead can stop quirks. So I guess if you have a power outside, you can't really say human, but outside normal boundaries, it can be stopped. I.e., Hawks, you're not supposed to.
No, you're right. No, you're right. No. Oh my God, I totally spaced. No. You're right. You're right.
Which part?
The Eraserhead theory. No, you're right. Because, their friend, when they found out he was a Namu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit, you're right. Because that's how we got him to, like, look at him. He stopped the Namu half of the Quark.
Oh, talking about Kirigiri?
Yes. No, you're right. Oh, my God, you're right. They debunked that. They did debunk that. Oh, my God. So they have to get a hold of her, then. They have to get a hold of her. And they have to get Eraserhead, which is why he's not dead yet. But he's another X Factor. I had to think about this. Oh my God, you're right. I had to think. I had to really dig deep for that one. I had to really dig deep for that one.
But let's take a step back.
Go ahead.
What's the phrase I'm looking for? I can't remember it.
Backtrack.
Let's take a step
Reminisce.
back. There's a reason why Eraserhead won't work on her.
It reflects off light.
Hollow Man. They spoke on it in Hollow Man.
Oh God, you're gonna make me reach the Hollow Man? I did just watch it the other day.
Kevin Bacon.
Bacon, I know. Hold on.
When they turned on the lights, he says, "Turn off the lights," and they were like, "Why? My eyelids are invisible."
She can never close her eyes.
Not only that, Eraserhead can't look at him. So his quirk, in theory, would not work on her.
So then to debunk that, but also too, there's a possibility that it can work. No?
It's a possibility.
Oh.
But as it stands...
Good job on the Hollow Man reference. I didn't even... Oh, man. That's a good horror movie.
Stands with...
Good job on that.
Movies and TV shows that deal with invisible people, he has to look at them. And, I mean, you can't stop her if you can't look at her.
Which is where Genist and Hawks come into play. I think we cracked the code, guys.
I mean, yeah, a simple capture and interrogation, but, you know...
But she has to have some physical... We gotta narrow it down. And if Genist can wrap her up, or Hawks track her, which is probably what I would do. I don't know where that's going. But if me and you are Hawks and Genist, we would think that. We got to wrap her up in some form of material. We got to get her physical body. Okay, now what? She can't close her eyes. She's invisible. Completely tether her and everything. She can't close them.
Ooh.
But that's if they grab her and interrogate her. Go ahead.
Muriel. When he was out of commission, they probably did some research on his body.
His permeation quark. Let's go!
Not only that, looked at his blood, extracted the quark killing, reverse engineered it, recreated it, and they're probably going to use it on her.
And reveal her true identity. Dude. Fucking CIA needs to hire us, bro. CIA needs to hire us.
Because Lemillion's been gone for a while. I mean, I know he's been with...
He popped up.
Ares,
yes.
But in all that time, of course, they're doing research on his body to see what effects the quirk-killing...
which they've referenced.
Has done to him.
Yes.
Extracted it somehow, reverse engineered it. Like, oh, this is how they made it. Oh, well, we're going to keep this in a safe. Just in case we need it.
Which is probably another X factor with All for One, because they're gonna need it for sure. You know, kind of like with Avatar taking away bending, they gotta take away his quirk, otherwise he's gonna keep terrorizing. Oh man, dude. I love how we got on like a whole conspiracy thing about this episode, because like this is like. It's not necessarily a mic drop we knew, but like how we just ran into like All for One with his whole plan. Like we're on board and we're humans. We don't even have superpowers. Like I'm telling you guys, like this is like a really powerful episode. We're gonna put it out for sure as soon as possible.
She's gonna slip up, of course.
It goes with the plot armor. It goes with the plot armor. It goes with the plot armor.
It's going to be, oh, how did you know? We always knew. We were just waiting for you to lead us to where we needed to be. Did we mess around and have some casualties? Yes. And we're sorry about that, and we're going to fix that. But we got you. You might as well just tell us what just tell us what we need to know. Well, I'm just going to take off my clothes and disappear.
Which
right in the neck.
There's so
now
many.
You just do it yourself.
There's so many. I mean, like, oh gosh, yeah, and of course the actual pro heroes in that department. Because another thing too with Eraserhead, we haven't seen Eraserhead since the war.
But he's been in the hospital.
That's what I'm saying. But we haven't seen him since then. But I don't know, guys. You let us know what you think down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Let us know your theory on this. Let us know what you think's gonna happen. I mean, My Hero Academia, man, they're taking a huge plot twist. I mean, we really, really kind of did our homework on this one, I feel like. So I'm kind of proud of this episode. Let us know what you think, guys. Until next time, peace.
Peace.